ready to get started. Good morning, Lakeview and Lakeview families. Today is our service learning celebration, and we are so honored to have so many special guests with us. But before we get started with introducing our special guests, we just wanted to talk a little bit about this project. So we're going to reset, and we are going to come back together for our morning meeting and our service learning celebration for our service learning project of 2024. We have some very special guests with us today that I can't wait to introduce to you. But before we do that, we just want to give everybody who might be joining in with us, our Lakeview families, some background on the project. So as you know, at Lakeview School, we are all aboard the Lakeview Energy Bus. We are roaring with pride. We are staying positive, working hard, and being powerful. And when we think about modeling Lakeview pride, we think about how we can do that in Lakeview School and beyond. So thinking about the beyond part of what we can do as Lakeview Lions certainly comes with service learning. Service learning is using the learning we're doing here at school to make an impact on our world in some special way. And our world, of course, is our Denville community. So in doing so, we did a survey for our whole school, our Lakeview Skip team, which is Mrs. Neidham, Mrs. Hall, Mrs. Worth, and Mrs. Nardone. Shout out to our Lakeview Skip team, who did a survey, and we talked to students and staff about things that might be important. And through that survey, we knew we wanted to do some sort of donation and make some sort of impact within the community. And through that information seeking, we heard about the wonderful Denville Spark. And we decided that this was something close to home for us because we really value the differences among us here at Lakeview School. We really value who we are as individuals and what we bring to our school each and every day. And that comes down to our cultures, our traditions, our backgrounds, our family dynamics, the way we look, what we're interested in. All of those things make us who we are, but our brains make us who we are too. And that brings in neurodiversity and this idea of celebrating how we learn, the different styles in which we learn, the way in which we learn, the settings in which we learn, all of those things that make our school so truly special. So when we think about neurodiversity, what we shared with students is that neurodiversity is a word to explain the unique ways people's brains work. While everyone's brain develops similarly, no two brains function just alike. There's no correct way for the brain to work. Instead, there is a wide range of ways that people perceive and respond to the world, and these differences are to be embraced and encouraged. We celebrate the differences among us and the way in which our brains work, the ways in which we learn best, and all of our unique learning styles are certainly something to be celebrated within Lakeview School and beyond for people of all ages. So that's where we are able to really take this idea of neurodiversity, take this idea of service learning, take this idea of Lakeview Pride, put it all together and come up with a project that was meaningful to us. So in this project, we had the wonderful Miss Maneri and Miss Hall, who were able to help us really coordinate and plan. And what we did was we had Mrs. Hall communicate with the representative from Denville Spark, who I'm going to call up now. We have Susan Reinhardt and her son, RJ Reinhardt, who are critically important to Denville Spark, and I'm going to let them tell you just why. So for Susan and RJ, come on up. Can you tell us a little bit about Denville Spark and why this service learning might be impactful to you guys?
It's very important. When Lakeview contacted me regarding this program that they wanted to do, I had a goal to update our Denville library with books pertaining to children with challenges, in addition to typical children, to learn about children with challenges and the differences that they face in learning and in life, to kind of, give everybody where everybody else is. And Lakeview was very, very generous in doing that. I contacted the Denville Library, who gave us an Amazon wish list, of different books pertaining to this subject. And then Valley View was generous, and the kids and everything, which we want to thank very, very much. Denville Spark represents the children that have challenges in Denville. We have a sports team that are adaptive to their needs. In addition to, the children are very, very involved in volunteering in Denville. They're in charge of the Thanksgiving food drive for Denville Social Services, and they do quite a bit of volunteering for different organizations to give back to their community. I wanted the kids that can't not participate maybe in something in a typical child can, to also know what that feeling is to give back and how wonderful that is. Now, at this point, some of the children are to where they need to have housing because they cannot live on their own. So Denville Spark is having a polar plunge every year, which you're all welcome to join, at which point we're going to build and operate a group home in Denville for these young men and women so that they can live out their lives healthy, happy, and safe in the community they were raised in, including Lakeview. RJ is an alumni of Lakeview and Valley View and Morris Knolls, and again, as I said, in a community that I know is just as important for them as it is for them to give back and to be participated in.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. So, as she said that there are so many wonderful activities, projects, things that we can do to help. And as Mrs. Sardanapoli shared with a lot of the students, that idea of the group home, I know how important that is because that's where my brother-in-law lives. He's an autistic 47-year-old man who absolutely loves his home. He calls it his college. And without the funding that people like us can sometimes provide, he won't be able to do those visits to the mall to go order his own dinner or, do different arts and crafts project or go play soccer with friends. All of this funding helps build these groups' homes, keep them going, keep all of the wonderful activities alive for those participating in Denville Spark and beyond. So thank you all for your enthusiasm with this, your energy behind it, and all that you're doing to support. So I want to bring up Ms. Siobhan Koch from the Denville Library to hear a little bit about how these books will impact the Denville Library. Hi.
So all of these books are going to get added to our collection, which you can look at online and you can order. We can have them waiting for you when you come to the library, or we can help you find them. Mary Ellen, our youth services supervisor, picked out all of these titles. We do have other books on neurodiversity at the library, but this will definitely add to our collection. And we are just very happy to have people come in so that they can see books either about themselves or learn about other people. In all the titles that we have.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So thank you to everyone for your generosity.
Absolutely. So before we bring Ms. Hall and Ms. Muniri up, we are going to show just a short video that captures a little bit of what went on behind the scenes these past couple of weeks. So Mr. Scallon.
We all learn differently. So it's something to celebrate here at Lakeview. Our brains are such a beautiful thing. And just like we talk about with our cultures, our backgrounds, our traditions, the way in which we look, the way in which our interests are all different, it goes the same for our brains and our learning. So we're going to continue to celebrate and empower one another here at Lakeview School, but we're going to celebrate and empower one another beyond the walls of Lakeview School as well.
Of what happened behind the scenes, but the best people to tell you a little bit more about that, Ms. Hall and Ms. Muniri, our Lakeview school counselors.
Hi, Lakeview. So just to talk a little bit about what happened, Mrs. Reinhardt already explained some of it, but I had reached out to her and I said, how could we best support you? And she explained how she was partnering with the library. And also she explained that Camp Moore, sometimes I asked do you need any kind of craft supplies? She said they give those type of things to Camp Moore, so we decided we would also support the summer program as well. And so first I want to give a huge shout out to our PTA. We could not have done this project without you. I don't think we ever can say thank you enough. I've worked at other schools. There is no school like Lakeview PTA. It is amazing. So thank you for supporting us, for getting all the materials for us so that we were able to do this. And another shout out to Support Services for helping us run everything, for getting the Spark Bucks to the students. Ms. Maneri will explain that. And thank you to all the families and all the students who came out to support this, to purchase all these amazing books and the craft supplies. And I hope I'm not forgetting Mrs. Sardanapoli for always gearing up and wanting to do service learning. So just thank you to everyone, and we really appreciate the support.
For those that aren't aware of our program or aren't as clear as they could, so we challenge the children to do a readathon or a mathathon and challenge their families to donate on behalf of how many hours they put in for it. And then what they did over the last week and a half was bring in their forms with their money that matched the amount of hours, and then they came down. We had a cart going around, as you saw in the video, and they would get Spark Bucks. And then at the end of the day, every day, we would call them down, and again, you saw that in the video of some of them shopping, and they got to pick out which books they wanted to purchase and donate, and which craft supplies they would like to purchase and donate. And some of the kids walked away with 1 million stickers on them as a thank you. We have a lot of kids today that still have money and are still waiting for their Spark Bucks. So as of today, it is continuing. But we are so very proud to say
Just one other thing I'm going to add in before she tells you how proud we are to say this, is that students who didn't bring in money but had read or did math for 5 hours were given bookmarks celebrating neurodiversity that they could color and were laminating and will also be donated to the library.
So if you're still coloring them, get them in so Mrs. Hall and I can get them to the library next week when we drop the books off.
Okay.
All right, so as of today, right now, we have raised more than enough money. No? Okay, we're not doing the total, but we have purchased all of the books, and they will be brought to the library next week. And we have been able to purchase all of the craft supplies, and we are going to be giving the rest of the money that we have to Sparks and Camp Moore, and so they can use it for other things to help build their home or provide other wonderful activities for them.
Thank you, Lakeview, and thank you all my 4th and 5th grade helpers who got out there and helped us. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Maneri, Ms. Hall. So as you saw in the video as well, I also wanted to shout out Packy Butler, who was here and ran a morning meeting for us. He read Leo the Late Bloomer to the entire school, went around and did visits just to celebrate the impact Denville Spark has made on him, his family. And again, we have RJ Reinhardt here with us, who's a Lakeview alumni, former Lakeview Lion. Seeing this continue to come full cycle and seeing, these former members of Lakeview and all of us come together in celebration of one common cause is so truly special and so truly meaningful, and we hope is instilling the citizenship in our students that they can take with them forever. So we're going to bring, we're going to back this up a little bit. We're going to bring everybody behind us so that we can share the grand total of what we raised in our 2024 service learning project. So,
Total to date.
Total to date, yes, because we didn't count what was brought in today. So, Mr. Scala, are we ready? Okay, so as we said, we have a grand total. That total contributed to purchasing all of these books. That total contributed to all of these arts and crafts supplies. And then the remainder will be given via a check to Denville Spark to be able to continue to support your amazing, incredible program. So drum roll, Lakeview, here we go! Our grand total was $1,600!
Oh my